Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Raghavendra Mysore. Today we are solving the next unit, the unit number 3. Unit 3, which is called as pair of linear equations in two variables. It is taken from the class 10. So today we are going to do the introduction part of this particular unit. What do you mean by pair of linear equations in two variables? So before learning the entire heading or the chapter name, first we will try to understand what do you mean by variables. So to make you to understand, I've taken a simple example here. I wrote, so I went to a shop, I purchased the two fruits, so the sum of those two fruits is equal to 10. I purchased a mango and an apple. I gave the amount as rupees 10. So while coming back, I started to think, what was the cost of mango or what was the cost of an apple? Obviously I was not knowing about it. So to make it too clear, I considered the mango price as rupees X plus and an apple price by. The sum is equal to 10. Now this X and this Y, these are called as variables. Why they are going to call as variables? Because they doesn't have a fixed value right now. I can give any value for X, so that the sum of the values of these two should be equal to 10. If I give the value of X as 1, what will be the value of Y? Obviously 9. That is equal to, the sum is equal to 10. If I think the cost of mango would be 2 rupees, then the cost of an apple would be 8. But the sum together it is 10. If I think mango is 3, then the apple cost is 7, the sum is 10. So both will be interdepending upon one another. So that is why these are called as variables. These small alphabets are called as variables, so that we can change the values to find out the value of another. I hope that you people have understood what you mean by variables. The next one is, after variables, you need to understand two variables. Obviously we have written two variables here. Here equations. What do you mean by equation? If you carefully observe this particular thing, it is an equation. See, x plus y equal to 10. X plus y equal to 10. So equal symbol is there, and we are equating the sum of these amount is equal to 10 rupees. So when we equate one thing to another, that is called as equation. We are equating the amount of an apple and a mango, their sum is equal to as 10. So that is called as equation. So I hope you are getting an idea of what you mean by called as equation. Equation means equating one thing to another thing. So in between those two things, there should be a symbol of equals. That is called as an equation. Pair of linear equation. We know what is variables. We know what is two variables. We know what is equation. Now we need to try to understand linear equation. What do you mean by linear equation? See, if you carefully observe the variables here, the power of the variables. What is the power of the variables? We have not written any kind of power on the variables. Power means writing the number on top of the variables. So if there is no number that is understood, the power of these variables is 1. If you have not written, that is 1. So linear equation means if the variable's power is equal to 1, then that equation is called as linear equation. If we are having two variables, in two variables. Linear equation in two variables. Now they are saying that pair of linear equations. I've taken one example here. I'm going to take another example. Another day, I purchased 2 mangoes plus an apple for the rupees of 15. So, the price of an mango is X rupees and the price of an apple is Y rupees. So, I have purchased how many mangoes? 2 mangoes. So, 2 into X rupees plus Y is equal to 15. Now, this is another equation. This is one equation. When we try to find out the values of these variables with two equations, then that is called as pair of. The variables power should be in both the cases 1. Pair of linear equations in two variables. I hope that you are understanding what do you mean by the pair of linear equations in two variables. Two variables should be there in the two equations and the power of the variable should be equal to 1, and we are going to find out the values of those variables by using those two equations together. That is called as pair of linear equation in two variables. Whenever you get a linear equation, we can find out linear means it's nothing but it's a straight line. We can use graphical method or a graph. We can plot the equations. So now you can see here we got the values of x and y. We can plot it in a graph sheet. What happens when we plot it in a graph sheet? Just imagine this is our y-axis, this is our x-axis, origin 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. X is 1, y is 9, somewhere else here. X is 2, y is 8, somewhere else here. X is 3, y is 7, somewhere else here. If I join all these points with the help of a scale and a pencil, I am going to get a straight line. So linear means it's a straight line. Whenever we equate the two equations and whenever we get two equations, we are going to get two lines when we plot it in the graph. So that we are going to get the values of x and y. So if there are this way of finding the values of x and y is called as graphical method. I hope you people understood what do you mean by variables, then what do you mean by equation, then what do you mean by two variables, obviously you know, then what do you mean by linear equation, the power of the variables should be 1, and pair of linear equation means that there should be two equations and the power of the variables in the two equations should be 1 and there should be two variables. So one of the method of finding the values of those variables is called as graphical method. In this graphical method, there are three types of lines that we are going to get. One will be intersecting lines or intersecting lines. The second one will be coincident lines. The last one will be parallel lines. In today's class, we will stop up to finding intersecting lines. What do you mean by intersecting lines? I've drawn a line here with respect to the first equation. Similarly, if I give the values for the second equation, if you observe here, if I give the value of x as 1, 2 into 1 is 2, plus what should be the value of y? So that the sum should be equal to 15. So y obviously should be equal to 13. If I give the value of x as 2, 2 2s are 4, what should be the value of y? That should be 11, so that the sum is equal to 15. If I give the value of x as 3, 3 2s are 6, plus what should be the value of y? 6 plus 9 is equal to 15. So like that. So we are going to get another equation. So if x is equal to 1, what should be the value of y? Somewhere else it comes here. Like that, another line comes and intersects. When two lines intersect each other, we will call that as intersecting lines. In graphical method, the first one is intersecting lines. I hope that you people are trying to understand. When we plot one equation, we will be getting one straight line. When we plot another equation, we are going to getting another straight line. When those two straight lines are intersecting at one fine point, that is called as intersecting lines. And how many solutions we will be getting? We are going to get only one solution, that is called as unique solution. So in case of intersecting lines, we are going to get one solution, and it is called as a unique solution. So I hope that you people are understood with respect the definition of pair of linear equations in two variables. And up to this method, which is called as graphical method, there are three types, which is called as intersecting lines, coincident lines, parallel lines. We are going to speak about coincident and parallel lines in the next class, but I hope you have understood what you mean by intersecting lines. So in intersecting lines, we are going to get how many solutions? Only one solution when these two lines are going to intersect one another.